That's the longest I've let that music play. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we need to swap this around because he's the man in charge. He gets to be in the big boy seat. This is where the big boys play, and music's down low. Start the show. It's been a while. Give us a break.
It's Friday. You know what that means. We're back. It's the Friday Nitro review. Sorry we've been away. Completely my fault.
What is up? Hello. It's not your fault, man. Life happens. It's all good. We're going to call it a break.
I'm Nick the Geek. I'm, of course, joined by my cohort, my co-host, and my co-conspirator. It's been a while. I'm joined by the Wrestling With Your Thoughts heavyweight champion of the world. I am joined by Jimmy. Jimmy, how the hell are you doing?
Pretty good. Like I was telling you about before we got on, I found out that I got to go work a little earlier than I thought, and I was like, man, we're not skipping. It's been too long. We got to get it going. Yeah. And so we're going to squeeze this one in, and I don't think it'll be too difficult because this week's episode of Nitro from December 18th, 1995 was a very one-dimensional episode of Monday Nitro.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. So, welcome back to the Friday Nitro review. Let's kick things off. I got my notes. I got my partner. Let's see what we can get out of this. Right. This is, of course, the infamous episode of Nitro where Medusa, the former Alundra Braze, shows up right at the beginning of the show out of nowhere and drops the WWF Women's Championship in the trash live on Monday Nitro, which Eric Bischoff does a horrendously bad job of attempting to act shocked about.
Yeah.
I have never seen a man more obviously giddy on the inside and so happy that this has just happened in his life. He was completely ecstatic. You could tell. He's like, I'm shocked. Oh, I can't believe this is happening, while he's grinning from ear to ear all the time. Medusa looked incredibly uncomfortable. It has been a very long time since I've seen this episode of Nitro. What did you think of her performance?
So I wrote 3 words to describe the promo. Robotic ass promo. Yep. It was so robotic. The shock value of her doing it is like, can you imagine today this happening? Mm-hmm. Like it would, man.
There'd be a meltdown.
Yeah.
It'd be a meltdown in the world of wrestling.
And I'm sure message boards back, I'm sure there was a thing at 95. They were having message boards at this point. I don't know.
Well, the internet was invented in 1995, so probably.
Okay. So if there was, I'm sure they were ablaze, but if not, then, it's a mind-blowing thing to think of.
I'm sure the WCW hotline was overblown with calls about this incident.
But yeah, the promo she delivered was just so generic and
wooden as hell.
Yeah. And I'm gonna be honest. I started watching a few months from where we're at now on the show.
Yeah.
And I don't remember Medusa really being a big factor on the show. So for her to come in and say like, well, now it's where the big girls play and nothing comes of it, man. The follow-up makes the moment not that great.
She has about 3 matches with a few girls from Japan like Bull Nakano, Mina Sakazaki, and a couple of others. But WCW didn't have a women's division. It didn't have a women's championship.
What's up, babe? She says she loves the Pepe outfits. Don't be used to them because they don't last much longer.
No, they do not. But yeah, there was no women's division in WCW. Yeah. So
it was all Japanese women
signing. That was it, and they were only there for a short period of time.
Yeah.
So Medusa signing really killed her career. It was an unfortunate thing because Vince.
I'm sure she was promised like they were gonna like build a division around her. I'm sure that was the promise upon the signing. But yeah, Eric just got too caught up in the soon-to-be NWO thing. Spoiler alert. And that's where all his attention goes. And then there's no real women's division. I do remember seeing her from time to time because she wore the American flag stuff. Correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
So I do remember her showing up from time to time, but there was just no women's division to speak of. So
Well, the unfortunate thing about Medusa is my
this is
biggest.
true, Ron. That I'm not saying I'm definitely. I
No,
definitely agree with
this
you.
is true. WWF didn't have much of one either. Yet again, it was mainly Alundra at the time wrestling Japanese girls. But
So
at
yeah,
least they had a championship.
yeah, yeah.
Like,
And she was at so someone had quote tweeted our little post saying check out Survivor Series 95 to see why. So she was on a major pay-per-view defending her
yeah.
title. So I mean, again, I don't know the politics going on back. I'm not saying she was dumb or wrong for doing what she did. I'm just saying, like, in hindsight, looking at it, it was like she didn't
Worst
really
mistake.
go. She kind of just went to a different monster. Like it was the same shit. So
She went from being on major pay-per-views, defended a major title, to being part of Randy Savage's entourage by the end of 1999.
and if WWE paid her more, good for her.
Mhm.
Get that
Yeah,
money.
good for her.
Absolutely. So
Good for her.
um,
Right, but moving on from what is still one of the most recognizable moments in WCW.
absolutely,
up to
absolutely.
this
It's
point.
still a shocking moment. Like 100%.
They then move on to promote the main event of tonight, which is Macho Man spoilers. Macho Man Randy Savage defending the World Heavyweight Championship against the Giant, and we will talk about how that debacle goes later on. Okay, first match up: Eddie Guerrero versus Ric Flair. Now, I was excited when Flair came down the ring to wrestle Eddie because I've seen them wrestle numerous occasions in WCW. It's always an entertaining match. However, this was their first meeting.
Ever?
This was their first meeting.
It's the first meeting ever. Okay.
Yeah, this is their first meeting ever. And Rick didn't seem like he wanted to do business that much for Eddie, in my opinion.
Match wasn't anything to write home about. I'll say that.
No.
It was fine.
It wasn't.
It was fine, but it wasn't.
It was good 6-7 minutes, I think.
If you were to look at the card for this night and you would have saw Eddie Guerrero versus Ric Flair, you would have definitely thought it was going to be the match of the night, and it wasn't.
No, not at all.
So that. It was 7 minutes, 36 seconds. Thank you, ProWrestlingFandom.com. You are the greatest thing in the world for me with this Nitro stuff.
Yes, it's amazing. For 7 minutes, 36 seconds of mediocre, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I mean, it starts off pretty well with Rick doing his shtick, just hitting the strut, hitting the woo, hitting the hair. Yeah. Yes, they did. They
definitely,
did.
Ron. Definitely.
Rick hits his stick. He can't keep Eddie down. He's gone for a bit of chain wrestling, back reversals, so on and so forth. Eventually, after Eddie hits about 6 drop kicks in a row, and then he fumbles one, some reason goes straight up to the top rope. Rick just pushes him straight off into the concrete. Eddie hurts his knee. Rick gets in the ring.
Quick tidbit there. When Eddie hits the ground, he grabs his left knee and then immediately switches over to his right knee.
Yeah.
Which sucks because I'll get to the rest of that later on after the match. But I wanted to point that specific moment out because it was caught on camera. So I did see it. And then it just was like, okay. But continue.
No. Rick gets in the ring, starts working over Eddie's right leg. Then goes for some punches, puts him in the figure 4, grabs the ropes. The only thing I liked in this match is Eddie Guerrero did not tap.
I like that he got the pin victory with it because I was thinking, I'm like, man, I'm not a big Ric Flair like person. I haven't seen hundreds and thousands of his matches. I've seen what I saw on Nitro and what I saw during his last WWE run, and I've seen a few of his matches from the 80s. And the only time I've ever seen him win with the figure 4 on a pinfall was the final match he had that was a complete debacle. And I'm talking the one that happened like a few years ago. That's the only time I've ever seen it. And
when he was pissed out of his skull.
And he faked heart attacks and everything. So it was like it was that's the one the only time I've ever seen him win with the pinfall on the figure 4, which was so it was cool to see. But now I'll go back and speak my. It sounds like we're reviewing. I'm going to nitpick. I don't care.
That's fine.
Eddie grabs his left knee and then is like, oh no, right knee. Well, from my point of view, the left knee is the right knee that they should have been working over, because that's the one that's getting torqued during a figure four. The right knee is just being the ankle is being applied. The left ankle is being applied over the right knee. So the left ankle would be, it's the left leg. The left leg is the one that should be getting worked over here.
Yes.
So it's wild that Ric Flair didn't even catch on that.
I know.
Because what is he? He's like almost a 20-year vet at this point, isn't he?
22.
At this point, he's 22-year vet, and he didn't catch on.
22-year vet. In fact, it might even be longer. He started in 77.
Yeah. So
17 year.
Had them. So he's almost 20-year vet. That's wild. And had the match been great, probably wouldn't have cared. But because it was just kind of mid, I'm gonna catch it, and it's like, wow. Yeah. That's my take on the match. It was what it is, brother.
If I could be the positive one for a change,
that's
there
fine.
were two good spots in this match, and they were both done by Eddie Guerrero. It was a tornado DDT and a top rope hurricane runner.
Yeah. There's good stuff. Good. Sure, there's good stuff.
There's good stuff. The rest of the match was mediocre.
Eddie clearly got better, Ron, but we've seen some matches during this where Eddie was still
Ron,
really good.
I have to slightly disagree.
I'm disagreeing too, because we've seen some matches where he's been really good.
You watch the final match for 2 out of 3 falls between Eddie Guerrero and Dean Malenko in ECW. Their leaving town match is still to this day one of the greatest matches of all time that Eddie Guerrero ever had, and that was a year and a half before this.
I think this is a better statement: is that Eddie wasn't ready for that caliber of talent.
Yeah. I'll give you that.
He clearly could work well with the other guys, like ones that are similar, but it was clear he wasn't ready with Flair, and Flair, like you pointed out, didn't really look like he was inspired either. So it was kind of just like, this match could have been better, and it wasn't. And as a character, you're 100%. That's kind of what I'm getting at here too.
Like, no, I agree with you there, Ron. Okay.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Yes, it was. Right. We then have the Horsemen hit the ring. Well, Arn Anderson and Chris Benoit was needling about.
The two Horsemen.
Because Brian is not there. I don't know why Brian Pillman wasn't there. He was having issues at this point with Kevin Sullivan, who was the booker at the time.
Oh, so that was a shoot, brother.
Yeah. He was having difficulties with Kevin Sullivan, who was the booker at the time. So I imagine that's why he wasn't there on this night, because Brian didn't often keep his mouth shut when Kevin Sullivan was trying to do business in the ring. Arn Anderson comes in the ring. They lay their boots into Flair. Then Mean Gene gets in the ring and threatens to cut this interview off straight away if you don't leave Eddie Guerrero alone. And Flair and Arn back off. Kevin Sullivan appears from nowhere, starts going on about that they have a loose cannon in the Horsemen. They need to watch out. They need to keep him on a short leash. And Arn Anderson says, look, you come after Brian, you come after any of the Horsemen, and you're going to find Arn and Flair waiting for you on the other side.
Yeah. You mess with all of us.
Yeah. Flair woos. Benoit's still milling about on the outside, doesn't say a word, doesn't get in the ring.
Doesn't even get in the ring. Weird.
No. Weird. Didn't get in the ring. Weird. It made no sense. Ric Flair says the Horsemen are back together and it's the best thing going today. Interview segment over.
They started off going after Orndorff. And
I forgot about that.
Yeah, and when Sullivan showed up, it was weird. I was like, why is he even here? But now you're telling me that this is when backstage issues were happening. That was a straight up shoot, brother.
Yeah.
That's the kind of shit that can't happen on your TV show.
Yeah.
That's what is it called? Amateur hour.
Yeah.
Like, what do we do? And Kevin Sullivan should know better.
Yeah. Kevin Sullivan
that's
should
why
know better. But we are only a few months away from I appreciate you, Booker Man.
How wild is it that Pillman was able to get under Sullivan's skin that much to where he pulled this kind of dumb stunt? That's crazy to me.
Yeah. Right. That's the thing. Brian was, God rest him, one of the best workers WCW ever had in the early days. But he hated that place, especially after they split him and Steve up.
Thank you, Booker Man.
after they split the Hollywood Blondes, Pillman got so sick and tired. Like, so, yeah.
I wonder
That's
why.
for a different reason. That's for a different reason, Nancy. But, like, just, this was bad. I don't know how else to put it.
It was dumb.
It was dumb. It was bad. It was a waste of TV time. And on a show that is still at this point only an hour long, you cannot afford to waste TV time.
Yeah. Especially this episode. Like, when we get to the end, like, you'll understand what I'm saying. But this episode specifically, like, I thought it was dumb to begin with, but now I'm finding out more information, and I'm like, yeah, that was really dumb. Like, really dumb.
I did not appreciate it at all. I didn't find it entertaining. I was sat there thinking, Kevin, what are you doing the entire time? He didn't even try and promote the main event, which you think he would, considering he's the leader of the Dungeon of Doom, and the Giants manager. But anyway, we then cut back to Bischoff, Mongo, and Heenan, and Bischoff talks about Medusa yet again, grinning from ear to ear. After this, we cut to the second match of Lex Luger versus Marcus Alexander Bagwell.
Oh, hold on, because there was the Craig Pittman thing. He came and interrupted.
Yes,
and
I forgot that.
I'm only bringing this up because normally it would be like a nothing thing, but it was probably my favorite part of the show because it was trying to move a character forward. Yes. It was character development. Pittman comes out, goes up to Heenan and says, I've done some research and you're the best manager of all time and I want you to manage me. And Heenan's like, I can't. This is my gig now, but I can help you. And that's it. Okay. So now I'm interested in what Pittman's going to do next. Yeah. That's the kind of stuff they need more of. And they've been pretty good about it up until, I mean, there's been a few episodes, so maybe this is just one of those episodes, but but I liked this moment. I didn't want to skip over it, but it was
no, sorry. I actually have that misplaced in my notes. I have that after.
Very simple, very short, very effective though. Now we can go on to the battle of the buffs and Lugers and Flexers.
He's not buff yet. He's Marcus Alexander Bagwell.
But he's got a buff physique, man. They're two physiques that are
which is all Mongo went on about during this match.
Yes, it was, Ron.
Yes, it was.
It was, Ron. Yes, it was.
Yes, it was. This was Mongo, but just drooling over Lex and Marcus's physiques. Constantly going on during the match about how they can compete in the gym. How he's one of the only people that can compete in the gym with Lex Luger. Until Heenan eventually turns around, God bless him, and says, but this is a wrestling match, it's not a gym. Which I really appreciate because I love Bobby. This was better than Flair versus Guerrero, and I can't believe I'm saying that. It was shorter.
Yeah, it was 3 minutes and 8 seconds. But again, you don't need long matches.
No, it was shorter, but it was what it was. Buff got his stick in. He eventually gets hit with a power slam by Lex. Lex puts him in the rack, and Marcus taps out.
That's all it needed to be.
Literally all it needed to be. At this point, Marcus Alexander Bagwell is a jobber and a tag team guy. Scotty Riggs runs in at the end to stop Lex doing the beatdown. We then cut to a ramp. Lex Luger and Jimmy Hart have another Mean Gene segment because they really like to overplay the Mean Gene segments at this point on Nitro. I think there's 4 on this show.
They do it after every match.
Yeah. Every match, Mean Gene interviews somebody.
Well, it's kind of like how UFC does their thing. You get post interviews after matches. But you have an hour show, so you shouldn't be doing it that way.
No. Pacing people.
Yeah.
He interviews him. Jimmy goes, no, Lex Luger's the uncrowned. What are we going to be world heavyweight champion, brother? And then Lex says, yeah, I'm the uncrowned WCW world heavyweight champion.
I had him in the rack. He was going to tap. I had him pinned. Hogan saved him. I'm the uncrowned champion. Lex hit some points. Yeah. Lex did a good job here.
Yes. Lex did a good job. It was usually shouty.
No, I know. I can't believe I'm praising him.
It was usually shouty self, but he, as you say, made good points. He has tapped out Savage. He has pinned Savage.
And he's angry. And rightfully so. So he should be yelling.
Hogan was the reason he didn't win the title. So, all fact, which is rare for Lex Luger. But it was a good promo from Lex for what Lex does. This was fine. After this, we immediately move on to
A Saturday night
Saturday
promo.
night promo,
Thank
where
you.
they advertise the match that I'm sorry we don't get to see on Nitro, Jim.
I'll be right back. Hold on. You can keep going. I'll be right back.
Okay. I'm sorry, the match we don't get to see on Nitro, folks. It's Michael Wall Street versus the Disco Inferno, because it's going to be a car crash, and therefore it will be the most entertaining thing on WCW Saturday night that week. After this, we move on to what I have to say was the worst. Now, everybody knows I'm the biggest Sting fan in the universe. He's the reason I watch professional wrestling. It was the first match I ever watched with Sting versus Ric Flair at Clash of the Champions, the 45-minute Broadway. Sting is my favorite wrestler of all time. But he came out tonight wearing black and orange, which is fine.
It's not Halloween time. That don't make no sense.
Yeah, and it was terrible face paint, which is very rare for Sting. And he wrestles Earl Robert Eaton. Now,
who is not a bodybuilder at all. Mongo did not like him.
No, not in the slightest. Beautiful Bobby is one of the best workers in the history of professional wrestling, if you are a fan of old school wrestling. Bobby Eaton bumps the way Kurt Hennig bumps, and Kurt Hennig bumps the way he bumps because of Bobby Eaton.
Yeah, Bobby Eaton's good.
Right. Best left hand in the history of the business. Just a great worker. This is the worst gimmick he was ever saddled with as Lord Steven Regal's tag team partner, because he's not English, for one, and they're portraying him as an Englishman after he has played beautiful Bobby Eaton in the Dangerous Alliance for pretty much, the Midnight Express, all of this stuff. And then, he's English now. It makes no sense. It's stupid. It's very early WCW. But the match itself was bloody awful. Like, he just beats up Sting. Going on. He beats up Sting for like 2.5 minutes. Then Sting hits a Stinger Splash, Scorpion Deathlock. Done.
Would you be surprised if I told you that this match was longer than the Luger Buff one?
No, because Sting just sold his ass off for about.
And it wasn't significantly longer, but it was longer. No. It didn't feel that way watching it. It felt like it was shorter.
And as I pointed out before we went on the air, this is the third submission victory of the night in a row. That you don't see that anymore, and there's a reason you don't see that anymore. You get distraction, interference, and confusion all the time, but doing 3 submission victories, even though the Flair one was a pinfall because Eddie passed out.
I would have done that one between the two. If you were going to do this way, at least it breaks up the tapping out.
Yeah.
But I mean,
exactly.
But also, again, I'll get to it at the end. I don't necessarily hate it for this show. If it was any other show, I'd probably have an issue with it, and I'll explain myself again at the end.
Okay, right.
I don't think it's that bad this show.
Fair enough. After this, surprise, surprise, Mean Gene Okerlund hits the ring.
So the worst interview of the night.
Worst interview of the night. He basically promotes the triangle match at Starrcade. Sting just turns around and says, I was a 5-time world heavyweight champion, and let's be a 6-time world champion.
Woo! That's it.
Howls. That's it.
Yeah.
Says he has a problem with Lex Luger omitting his name from the talent list in WCW, which makes no sense because Lex hasn't beaten Sting, so why would he list him in the people that he's beaten anyway? But it was an off night for the Stinger.
Question:
the best way to put it,
because he brings up this point, and again, that's why on this night, for the reason I'm going to explain, I get it. But was he using the Death Drop at this point, or was that later? Okay,
no, that was Crow.
Okay, I thought so. I just wanted to double check.
Yeah, it was. That was Crow Sting before the Death Drop got introduced. After this, we go to our main event.
Best match of the night. Thank you, Macho Man, Randy Savage.
Yeah, because Randy can work with a mop and get a good match out of it. This was the Giant challenging for the WCW World Heavyweight Championship against the Macho Man, Randy Savage. This match was exactly what I expected it to be. Exactly what I expected it to be. To start with. Because it's the Giant playing the power game, Randy selling for him. Randy rakes the eyes because he's babyface, but he still rakes the eyes. Randy rakes the eyes. Giant goes up to the top rope, hits a flying nothing, misses. Randy comes
that man was flailing as he just like a redwood, just with arms just going, oh, freak. It was funny. I audibly laughed watching it.
Yeah,
It was
so did
funny.
I. So did I. It was great. Randy hits a beautiful flying elbow drop. The Giant press kicks out.
Yokozuna style.
Yeah, Yokozuna style. He locked in a bear hug earlier on in the match, just before they went to break, and I thought it was hilarious because when they came back to break, he just let go of it for no reason. Right.
Imagine sitting there through a commercial break as a live show, just watching the Giant hug Randy for 2 freaking minutes.
It's gonna be the most boring thing in the world.
Kiss.
Right. After he hits the elbow drop, the Giant kicks out. They go to the outside. Giant pulls the pads off the ring, goes for a suplex. Randy holds, quite well done, holds onto the ropes on the ring. And for some reason, the Giant just lets go of Randy and falls over into the concrete, which...
I mean, the idea is that Randy holding on is...
I'm not questioning it. Otherwise, it's wrestling logic.
Yeah,
There's no point questioning it. Like I said, it worked. It was good sense.
I thought it was a unique spot.
Yeah, it was.
I can't remember ever seeing it.
No, I've never seen it outside of this match. But yet again, it's Randy. He just knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Like,
Ahead of
he's
his time. Ahead of his time.
He's so good. So good. We then get back in the ring. Randy starts to get beaten down again. And then...
The Giant just gets up immediately. Is like, you son of a bitch. How dare you?
You. Just starts pounding on Randy again. And then when Randy is down, Bischoff goes, Hulk Hogan is here. There's a sea of red and yellow. And there's like 6 people in the crowd.
There's one dude in the front row dressed as Hulk Hogan.
Right, that's it. Hogan comes down the ring with a chair, hits the Giant with the worst chair shot. Right.
Hold on now.
Okay, Lance Storm versus Rob Van Dam at ECW Barely Legal 1997 is probably the worst chair shot in the history of professional wrestling.
I want to say
this is a close second.
Hulk Hogan is the worst. It's a bittersweet type thing because as a viewer, they are the worst chair shots of all time. But as a worker, I'm sure the people he's hitting with those chairs love him to death.
Yeah.
But of all the chair shots I've ever seen Hogan deliver, these were the best, except for the one he did on Kevin Sullivan.
No, that was
also early in the match. Jimmy Hart. I don't know why people want to praise this man as like he was clearly attached to some really good talent.
Yeah,
but this man is always getting on the ring apron at the wrong time. It never makes any sense why he's on the ring apron.
No,
like never. It's like
the Giant was in control of the match, and then he gets on the ring apron.
Yeah. So it allowed Mach, like it always works against the person he's trying to help.
His talent every single time. Jimmy Hart is, God bless him, a terrible manager. If you were taking
pretty bad,
wrestling,
it's pretty bad, Ron. Yeah.
Yeah, the Conan chair shot was pretty awful.
He's not a good Jimmy. He's not a good Jimmy. I'm a good Jimmy. He's an idiot. Jimmy.
The man's a moron. He is probably the worst manager you can possibly get. If you're taking wrestling in kayfabe and you're told you have Jimmy Hart as a manager, you're probably like, God damn it.
Fucking quit. No, ain't happening. I would join the Oddities before I had Jimmy Hart be my manager.
And I just wrote here, Hogan comes to steal Savage's thunder once again.
Yeah, I was going to get to that after the Mean Gene interview, but...
Yeah. Hogan comes to steal Savage's thunder once again. And then, once again, spoiler, Mean Gene Okerlund hits the ring. After the Giant starts trying to charge back down the ramp, and then Hogan chases him all off of the chair again. He comes back in the ring with the steel chair. Randy takes the steel chair.
He chased them away, and then they did an interview. And then halfway through the interview, Giant comes back, and Pittman was with him. Pittman was one of the ones trying to hold him back. So again, some continuity going on there. Yeah. I appreciate that for Pittman. I know it's not going to lead to anything, but at least they tried, and I appreciated it. And then Hogan chased him off with some not bad chair shots from Hulk Hogan.
They were great, but for Hogan, they were all right.
But yeah, that's how I'm judging it. Is based on what Hogan delivers. They were actually pretty good chair shots.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
The oddities
they
were
come through.
way worse than the Dungeon of Doom, Ron. Come on.
Yeah, the oddities were worse.
Golga?
Than
You remember Golga?
Unfortunately. Unfortunately, I do. Poor King Kong Bundy. Right. Now, Hogan then just proceeds to steal Savage's thunder. Savage gets to say, "Ooh, yeah," twice. And then at the end of the promo, which I will cover properly in a second, he hits my favorite line of the night, which is, "Hogan, will you autograph this chair, brother? Because I feel with the Giant's head, I can make a fortune." Ooh, yeah.
He cocked out.
Yeah, completely and utterly.
He even said, what was it? Excuse me. He didn't. I may have needed his help, but he didn't need mine, bro. Like, what? Brother. You're the world champion, dude. What are you?
It's so dumb. Hogan comes out. Hogan kicks off down to Mean Gene that, I don't care if I'm on probation. Everybody's on probation, but for some reason, Ric Flair's got a title shot, and Lex Luger's getting a title shot, and Tenzon's getting a title shot, and then Randy. But I want my title shot, and Randy, you owe me a world championship match. I don't understand why.
Because he's Hulk Hogan, brother.
But because there's no logical reason for Randy to give Hogan a title match. Hogan he hasn't won a match in weeks because he's been on probation. He hasn't earned a title shot. He's just demanding one. And then Randy goes, "Well, I got to defend it against Ric Flair next week. So mind a bit of promotion for next week's Nitro." That, I'm sure, will be a great little match because Randy and Rick always work well together. Like, they always work well together. And if I'm correct to this spoiler, Jim, this is probably one of the few times Randy Savage actually beats Ric Flair for the world title.
I want to say this, though. I think it's dumb to have that match a week
before the triangle match.
Arcade, in which there's a potential that you face Ric Flair in the main event anyway. Like, what's the point of that? That's not stupid. Good booking. That's really not stupid. Good booking.
It's really stupid.
Out of the title to begin with. To an extent, I mean...
Yeah, but to the Giant, not to Savage.
Yeah, but I mean, it's kind of the same aspect of... I don't know. I get it. It does make sense. Like, he wants his title back. He's not mad at Macho Man. He goes, "You do owe me a title shot, though, brother." It's a fair argument. And
fair argument.
Earthquake was in both those groups because Golgo was the Shark.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Man.
Unfortunately, he was.
He was such a nice guy. He did not deserve that.
No. John Tenta deserved better.
He did not deserve that.
No, he deserved better. But Hogan says he was a title shot. Randy says, after I beat Ric Flair, after I survived Starrcade, after I beat Tenzon from New Japan, then I'm going to give the world the match they want to see. I'm going to give them Hogan versus Savage. Now, at this point in 1995, I'm sorry to say, this was not the match the world wanted to see. The slightest.
I mean, for what WCW had on their roster, what would be a bigger match?
Bigger match?
Yes.
Unfortunately, not many.
That's probably the idea behind it. Is
but better match? Anyone?
There's plenty better ones because
they
weren't played out to death like they did in WWF.
Yeah. It's an unpopular opinion, but I don't think Hogan and Savage work well together.
I mean,
it's their matches are
two different kinds of workers.
Yeah,
one's a crowd worker, one's a in-ring mastermind.
For a start, Randy Savage would lay out his match backstage.
Yeah, one sells his ass off. One's like, I'm not selling anything. They're complete yin and yang for sure.
Yeah, complete yin and yang. I mean, sidebar. Hogan, when he fought The Rock at WrestleMania 18, The Rock wanted to go through the match. Hogan turned around and said to him, "Well, what if they don't like it, brother?"
Hadn't they already done Hogan and Flair in WCW at this point, though? They did that.
They had.
Yeah, so
they had done. They'd done
Hogan and Flair and Macho Man. Had they wrestled yet in WCW?
No.
So that's the thinking here. I'm just trying to make sense of it.
They are about 4 months away from the reformation of the Mega Powers, but they weren't called the Mega Powers. They were called the Macho Maniacs. I think.
Fuck out of here.
Yeah, I think it's the Macho Maniacs. But they reformed the Mega Powers because we're coming up to, as I say, Jimmy, the worst WCW pay-per-view of all time, the Doomsday Cage match.
I can't wait.
Which is Hogan and Savage versus Flair, Luger, and the rest of the Horsemen.
I can't wait.
6 on 2.
I love bad wrestling concepts.
Oh, so. It's horrendous. The cage is in the entrance ramp, not in the ring. The cage is built on the entrance ramp. It's 3 stories high. There's a roof on it. It's a rectangle. And you have to fight. They have to fight their way out of the cage through all of the opponents, get to the ring, and then win the match in the ring. It's bloody.
It sounds like some TNA stuff, bro.
You can see where Jeff Jarrett got his ideas from. That's all I'm saying. So this was the end of that. Was it, folks? We then cut back to Bischoff, Heenan, and Mongo. After Hogan hit Savage's "It Is What It Is" line.
Yeah.
We cut back to Heenan, Bischoff, and Mongo. During Hogan's loopy juice moment, Mongo and William Refrigerator Perry came down to try and calm Hogan down. Hogan, at the end of the promo, threatens Mongo and Fridge and says, "Don't ever enter our world or we'll put you down," which leads Bobby Heenan to turn around and say he could knock out William the Refrigerator Perry, which I thought was great. And then Bischoff signs off, says, "Please tune into Starrcade." And that was Monday Nitro on December 18th, 1995. Jimmy?
Okay. So what I want to say about the show is I keep saying it was one-dimensional, and it was because it was literally just to promote the 2 matches on Starrcade that I think have been announced.
Yeah.
Instead of using the show to build more matches for the card, instead of just kind of throwing them out there. But they also have Saturday night, so to be fair, I don't know what's going on over there. But it just seems weird to just use
Jimmy, you don't know what's going on over there. The greatest match of the week is on WCW Saturday night.
But using your 1-hour show on primetime TV to just not build other matches is kind of what WCW did their entire time, and it's probably why they didn't last, because it was just silly. The submission things, again, in hindsight, like now that I'm kind of had some time to think about it, it makes sense because that's basically you're showing each one that's going to be vying for a chance at the world title and highlighting what they can do and whatever. I probably would have given them some better opponent. Rick and Eddie was fine. And I guess Luger and Bagwell wasn't terrible, but based on how Eaton was perceived in WCW at this time, I probably would have picked a better opponent for Sting. That's not a knock on Eaton. It's just
I would have picked Regal.
Yeah,
I would have picked Regal. If I was going to go with one of the freaking Lords, I'd have picked Regal.
I would have used someone that was just looked more highly of in a singles capacity at the time.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But just again, using the entire show to build this is wild.
Yeah.
But again, that's it. Bischoff. That's what he kind of just did, and we're gonna see a lot more of it.
More.
It's one of those things where it's like I get it, I get the submissions, but man, I hate the concept of them doing that.
The wild thing about this episode of Nitro is all I could think about is we are 6 months away from the NWO.
Yeah.
Like 6 months before.
Okay. So Mike Rotunda is on Saturday night this week.
Yes.
Glenn Gilberti, let's call him what he is. The Disco Inferno, baby.
As I said, the greatest match of the week, Michael Wall Street versus the Disco Inferno.
Okay, that was on Saturday night? Okay.
That was on Saturday night's main event.
Real quick, dark matches. Zodiac versus Disco Inferno. Thank you for robbing me of that.
Yeah.
I'll give you one guess as to who Johnny B. Bad defended his WCW.
Would it be Diamond Dallas Page?
Yes, it was. And then Eaton did double duty this night because
wait. Just to reiterate. So the TV title was defended in a dark match yet again.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the Blue Bloods faced the Stud Stable, Bunkhouse Buck and Dick Slater. Bunkhouse Dick, that's what I'm gonna call him. So Eaton did double duty tonight.
Well, my guess is that because WCW had a lot of people no-showing events at this point in 1995, was Eaton filled in for whoever was supposed to be wrestling Sting.
That's fair. But yeah. So let me look through these notes real quick because it's time to give it a grade.
Yeah.
And I'm curious. I'm very curious. Okay, it won't be the lowest rated show. It won't be. But it is getting a C-.
Yeah.
Because
I'll agree with that.
It's just one-dimensional.
Yeah. The only reason it's getting a C with me is because at least they did promote the triangle match.
Yeah, like I said,
all
they
promoted.
Put in effort. There was effort put in. It was just too much.
Yes. Far too much. It was like flogging a dead horse.
Absolutely. At the time, for sure.
Yeah.
DDP was still kind of finding his spot on the card.
Yeah, he was. To my knowledge, this is their 15th match since the start of Nitro, if you include Saturday night.
They wrestle each other pretty much weekly.
And if you
they've wrestled on pay-per-view, they've wrestled on Nitro, they've wrestled on a pay-per-view again.
And Saturday night they do.
I'm sure this happens on Saturday night. They wrestle a lot,
and they wrestle dark matches every single week.
And there's an interesting story with the Diamond Doll involved that should be on freaking TV.
But it never is, and it drives me insane.
Yeah.
But C-, I'll agree with you, Jim. I think that's a fair grade. I don't think it's harsh. I think it's honest, and that's what we expect. But, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us. That was the Friday Nitro review. We will be back, I hope, next week.
We'll be back. We should be back next week. We should be back next week.
We should be back next week for another one. If you didn't get a chance to check out the Positively Awesome Wrestling podcast from last night, it was loads of fun. Jimmy was nice enough to have me on as a guest. Really enjoyed it. Albert's always entertaining. It was a good show. We tangented a little bit at the beginning. My fault. But it was good. So please go and check out the Positively Awesome Wrestling podcast. It's always a great show. Jimmy always puts a good one together, and it's insanely fun. Now, on to business. Anyone English,
you're done for. Just fucking with you.
It's fine. Right. On to business. Anyone that is watching this show who knows of the channel Blumpco.
Yes. Shout out to Miss Albanese. That's what we're going to refer to him as.
That knows who Adam Blompier is. I am sat next to the Wrestling With Your Thoughts fancy booking heavyweight champion of the world. He is undefeated in 27 defenses over the last 4 years. This man is the greatest fantasy booker I have ever met. And I truly believe that the only man on the planet that has a chance of beating Jimmy is one Adam Blompier. If you are watching this show, if you are watching a replay of this show, please, for me, go to the Blumpco YouTube channel and pester Adam Blompier.
Tell him I'm calling him out.
I want Adam to challenge Jimmy for the Wrestling With Your Thoughts heavyweight championship.
I want him to be another notch on my belt, son.
I truly believe this will be the greatest fantasy booking match I have ever managed to put together if Adam agrees. Adam, if you hear about this show, please watch it. Please, my email is nickthegeek2814@gmail.com. Please hit me up. Tell me if you're interested. I cannot pay you. But this, I believe,
can embarrass you.
This will be the greatest fantasy booking match of all time. I will even tell you what I want you to book. I want you to book WrestleMania 43, which means you have to book the Royal Rumble that year, the 4 weeks of television
after
the Royal
42.
Rumble. WrestleMania 27.
I thought it was
No, WrestleMania 2027. That's 43, isn't it?
It is. I thought it was 42.
No, 43. 42 is next year.
That's different.
43.
Okay. I need to just start over then.
WrestleMania 43, which means they will be booking the Royal Rumble of that year, the 4 weeks of television after the Royal Rumble, and the 2 nights of WrestleMania. Mr. Blompier, I'm a huge fan. I always have been. I followed your entire career since What Culture. I believe you are the best British fantasy booker in the world, and I would like you to take on the best American fantasy booker in the world. My cohort, my co-host, and my co-conspirator, just Jimmy. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. That was the Friday Nitro review for December 18th, 1995. See you next week.
Watch the Positively Awesome Wrestling Show.